How long does a guide dog work with an individual? Because I know there's a year or two of training and then they only go a certain period of time. Is that correct?
Not a certain period of time. It's all about the health of the dog. So my second guide dog, Holland, actually worked 13 years. Now, we weren't doing a lot of walking around for the last few years, but he worked from 1973 until 1986. And
Wow.
I had arranged to get a third guide dog, and 2 weeks before he collapsed out in our backyard, and we got him to the vet. And the vet said, we can bring him back up, but he's not going to have a good quality of life. He's had a heart attack or a stroke or perhaps both. And so we had to say goodbye to Holland a little bit more suddenly than we had thought. But then 2 weeks later, I went up and got my third guide dog, Klondike, and began working with him. At the World Trade Center in 1999, when we opened the office for Quantum, I had just gotten my fifth guide dog, Roselle. And so Roselle and I went to the World Trade Center, and I spent time as the leader of the office I was in. I knew that I needed to do what anyone else who was leading an office would do, but I had to do them differently. So, for example, not only did I need to know what to do in an emergency and how to function, but I had to actually know it because I'm not going to read signs. And so I spent a lot of time walking around the complex, learning where things were, talking to the Port Authority, police, and fire departments, and so on, learning what the emergency evacuation procedures were, and so on. And what I didn't realize until many, many years later is that what I actually had done was developed a mindset that says, you know what to do if there's ever an emergency. You don't need to fear it. And I didn't realize that, but that's part of, I think, what my makeup is. But the bottom line is I learned all of that. And so I was well equipped to deal with running an office. And the other reason that I learned a lot of that was, as a leader of an office, if my salespeople brought in an employee, or excuse me, a guest to talk with us or see our products and then talk about possible proposals and contracts and so on, and during all of that, we decided to go to lunch. How was it going to look if I said, well, I don't know how to get anywhere around the World Trade Center. I'm blind. And 2 hours later, we're going to be back up in the office negotiating multi-million-dollar contracts? That doesn't work. I needed to know where things were so that I could say, what do you want for lunch? Oh, you like deli sandwiches? There's this great restaurant downstairs called Fine and Shapiro, which was good. And I'll take you there and literally lead the way. Now, my employees always, of course, said, well, he can really see, he's just faking it. You know, they teased me a lot, but they knew. And that's why we did some of the things, including those bright employees, the way we did, because they knew that I was going to work to impress the heck out of anybody who came in.
This is Dr. David D. Schein for Saving America. Please subscribe on your favorite platform.